Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So this is going to be our first part of testing all the weapons. Today we're going to focus on the handguns and see which one is truly the best. So out there is rumored that the Red 9 is the best. Now, yes, it does have the most power, but let's look at all the handguns. So we're going to test all 5 handguns you get in the game and also the bonus DLC gun if you buy it, which is the Sentinel 9. So I have all these guns fully maxed out. Let's go look at their different stats.
Welcome. What can I interest you
So
in?
the first gun you can get, which you start with, is the
You
SG09R,
have a
and
ticket,
you
do
can
ya?
see that it has a total
Nice.
power of 2,
Choose a weapon,
max
stranger,
capacity
and I'll
18,
make you see.
reload speed 1.4, which is not the most important thing, and then fire rate of 1.52. Its bonus is that it gets critical hit rate times 5, which makes it very powerful. But then the Punisher, which you can get from start of chapter 2 for 5 spinels from the merchant at max, gets 1.9 power, gets slightly more ammo capacity at 24, slightly better reload speed, and rate of fire is also better on this. So, in total, you would do more damage per clip with the Punisher than the SG09R. You do have to take into account though that you do penetrate through 5 targets. So you have to decide,
Not seen anything
stats
you
wise,
like,
the
stranger?
Punisher is better, and you get it from start chapter 2. It won't start out better, but when fully upgraded. Now, going through 5 targets, especially later in the game, is very helpful. I would say it's probably better than, say, critical hit rate times 5, but that's all up to personal opinion. So the red 9, which you can get from the start of chapter 4, and that's on the boat in the middle of the lake. So at max gets 2.7, the highest damage so far, but lower capacity on both handguns so far at 16, slightly worse reload speed, and slightly worse rate of fire. And this gets increased power by 1.5, which makes it even more powerful. So it might be a good trade. This is why people say that the Red 9 is the best because it has the most power. Um, you know, when you're getting up
You just
there
gonna stand
in
there or
difficulty
what?
and later in the game, um, reload speed isn't necessarily important because you want to keep enemies far enough away where you can reload anyways. And yes, it sucks to have less ammo per clip, but if you're doing that much more damage, nearly double, than these other guns, then it's worth the less ammo. That's why people say that. And you can see why. And maybe it'll come down to testing the Red 9 is better. But rate of fire is also slightly less. So, but again, personal opinion, right? So the Blacktail, which you can get from chapter 7 onward, and it costs 24,000 gold. And so again, another powerful 2.4 for damage, slightly less ammo capacity than the Red 9. Reload speed is better, and so is fire rate. Now, this one some people prefer because of how fast it can fire. It's almost like a machine gun in that fact. And you also get increase of power 1.5. So it has only slightly less damage in total than the Red 9, but it fires way quicker and has slightly less ammo capacity. So if you're looking for something that can fire faster for enemies to kill them, that might be a better option for you. Now the Matilda, which is available from chapter 9 onward for 10 spinels. Now, another powerful handgun, but slightly less. So it only has 2 in damage, but it has high ammo capacity at 30. So overall, per clip, it would do more damage than any other weapon. Reload speed is 1.4, not bad, and fire rate is 1.6. You increase ammo capacity by 2. So, uh, very good. So this might be an option if you want something that does less damage, but you can fire a lot before you have to worry about reloading, which can be helpful in some fights. Most people, though, once they shoot a few bullets and then they get a chance to reload, they do. So, again, my personal opinion, I would say, and then the Sentinel 9. Okay, so this is the DLC weapon, so this will not apply to everybody. But we get 1.9, so not the weakest, but not the strongest handgun in damage. Ammo capacity is the highest at 31. Reload speed's alright, and then another high rate of fire. And you get increased critical hit rate by 5. So, just like. So basically, the starting gun, the Sentinel 9 is better in every aspect. Now, this gun also has a higher fire rate than a lot of their handguns, but slightly less damage. But this is like, I would say, if you're not going to go for the Red 9 and you got the DLC weapon, the Sentinel 9 is probably the best because while it has a lot less damage, it fires quicker than most guns, which is noticeable, and has high ammo capacity. So by the time you finish a clip, and at the fire rate that you're firing at, you're going to do more damage than some of these other guns can put out. So that's all the handguns.
Anything else?
Now I know
Suit
those are just
yourself,
numbers, so it's hard to demonstrate. So we're going to go in order. So first we're gonna test out the SG09, then the Punisher, the Red 9, Blacktail, Matilda, and the Sentinel 9, and these are also the different grips you can get for it. So the Red 9 will, when attached, it improves its precision and shot grouping. So the Red 9 without it will look like this. Then with the stock, it performs like this. So a tighter grouping, easier to hit enemies, not as much recoil as you can see, so way better. From our testing, from looking at these stats, that makes it even the Red 9 even better than it is. Pretty much you're probably not going to miss, and you can fire without much recoil. And the laser sight can be, which doesn't add any benefit, but can be put on the SG09R, Punisher, or Sentinel 9. Again, the only one of these guns that's really worth it is probably the Sentinel 9. And then the Matilda stock, which allows it to have a 3-round burst, which might. Okay. So normally, this is how the Matilda will fire. You can see the recoil and how fast they fire. It's pretty fast. So, with the stock though, we could fire 3-round burst, almost like a semi-automatic machine gun. And from the stats, right? If we say we have 2 damage and ammo capacity of 30, if you're firing 3 shots, you are technically getting, with this fire rate, you are technically getting a third of the clip done faster. And so that with the stock might make the Matilda a better choice than say the Red 9. Again, down to personal preference, but while this has more damage, you're doing it faster with this gun, and 3 bullets can be enough to stun an enemy, which on the higher difficulties can mean a lot. So that's all the attachments. So let's just fire the guns. Still have the attachments on, so this is how they fire. So this will be the SGO9R. This will be the Punisher. The Red 9. You can see the Red 9 barely gets any recoil with that stock. Very good. Most of these other guns have a lot of recoil. Matilda. That's how all the guns fire. So, what would I think is the best? I would say with the stock, or without the stock, even, the Red 9 is probably the best handgun for your buck at almost any difficulty. Um, with the stock, it makes it even better and easier to hit enemies without missing. But if you don't want to wait to get the Red 9, which is only available at Chapter 4, so that's not far into the game. Pretty easy stuff up until that point. But I would say a good contender, if you don't like the Red 9, is the Blacktail for the smaller space it offers. It has good stats all around. But then I would also say the Matilda's. I would say the Red 9 right, would be my number one choice. Matilda second, unless you have the Sentinel 9. Now, the Matilda with the 3 round burst is better than the Sentinel 9, but early on, since you can't get the Matilda until chapter 9, I would say if you can get it, if you have the DLC, use the Sentinel 9 until you can pick up the Red 9, and then focus on upgrades for this because it's the best. Maybe focus on, and then when you can either decide between this, which you should either have nearly fully upgraded or fully upgraded by chapter 9 if you're focusing solely on this, and then you can choose between that or the Matilda, which I would say are the two best handguns in the game. That's it for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one when we look at shotguns. But until then, bye.